I'm Sarah Chimfloni, and I'm pleased to share the story of the TOR Builder for Student Awards at the University of Manitoba. Every student award begins with a terms of reference. We call it a TOR. It's a document that establishes the award and sets out how the recipient is chosen. Before an award can be established, that TOR must satisfy many governance, policy, and program requirements. Establishing a student award used to take between 9 and 24 months, up to 21 steps, with information saved across 7 different systems, with no one person having access to all of them. So we did 3 things. We streamlined the award establishment process, we introduced standard templates, and we built an app that walks people through it all. Because every delay affects real people. Behind each award is a donor who wants to help and a student waiting on that support. The goal was simple: build a clearer path from donor intent to student impact. Building that path meant first understanding who was already on it. An award touches a lot of hands on its way through the university, and not the same hands every time. It depended on the type of the award, the level of the award, or the unique situation. Everyone along the way had an important role, but the roles weren't always clear. Work would sit while people waited on each other. There were competing versions of the same document, and often the only record of how something was done lived in someone's memory. Look, the problem was never the people. Staff were going above and beyond, keeping awards moving forward through a large, complex organization, using processes that had just become too manual. The leadership challenge was clear: make this faster and simpler without weakening a single safeguard that protects donor intent. How do you fix something like this without breaking what already works? The answer started with the people. We made one choice early on: people first, technology second. We turned that choice into 4 deliberate decisions. First, we created a shared call to action that people wanted to be a part of. Get support to the students sooner, and honor what donors asked for while we did it. Second, we listened before we scaled, launching a pilot as a learning environment. Third, we held the line on scope. We fixed the core processes and phased the rest. Fourth, we trained people directly in the TOR Builder on real terms of reference. And when people raised concerns, we took that as knowledge, not resistance. That was knowledge from the people doing the work every day, and it made the whole thing stronger. It became a shared way of working, owned by people across the university. We didn't roll this out all at once. We phased it deliberately and built trust first. We started with a pilot in March 2025, so a small group of core users could test the workflow. Their feedback defined the roles and handoffs and strengthened the training before we rolled out. From there, we moved to a university-wide launch, onboarding faculty by faculty on real awards. Phasing it this way respected the people who know the work best. We weren't handing staff a finished product. We were asking them to help shape it. And they did. Their decisions are built into how the system works today. We did not lead change by pushing a system out. We led change by bringing people in. One of the best ways we brought people in was through the train as we go model. We trained people when they had a real award in front of them, so the learning stuck. Take approvals, for example. An award used to pass from student award contacts to different faculty leaders and then on to the dean, who signed each physical document by hand. In the TOR builder, reviews and approvals are recorded in the system. That raised a real question for faculties. Who should be a system user? In one session, a dean asked to be the system user for direct access to review and approve awards themselves. Instead of applying one rule for everyone, we let each faculty choose. We weren't replacing a signature line. We were helping faculties build something that worked better for them. That was one faculty, one session. Across the university, here's what it added up to. We reduced the process from up to 21 steps down to 8 steps for graduate level awards and 7 steps for undergraduate level awards. And the timelines, they were reduced from 9 and 24 months down to 3 or 4. But the impact is bigger than the numbers. For staff, endless email chains and guesswork became one clear path. For donors, stronger stewardship of their intent. And for students, support moves sooner from an idea to something real. Students like Luma Lopez, who came from Brazil to pursue her PhD. She landed in Winnipeg in minus 30-degree weather with $200 in her pocket and a dream. For Luma, donor-supported awards did more than fund her studies. They gave her the confidence to keep going and reminded her she was not doing this alone. That's the leadership impact I'm most proud of. Not the steps we removed, not the automation we introduced. It is a student like Luma getting support in time to change what is possible for her. There are more students like Luma coming every year. What this project gives us is the ability to reach them, and that is more than a faster process. We now have standard templates, automated reminders, a complete history of every approval, clear roles and handoffs, and a training model we can use again. Just as important, it showed we can make something simpler without losing the checks and balances that matter. Governance, transparency, and donor intent are still protected. What changed is that awards now reach students sooner. And what we can hand to the next project is a way of working. Pilot before you scale. Train people inside real work and simplify without giving up a single control. That's the part that outlasts this project. Getting here taught us as much as it delivered. 3 lessons stand out for me that I would carry into my next project. First, complex projects succeed because of relationships, not technology. The tool mattered, but trust and shared ownership made adoption possible. Second, I learned to slow down at the start. Every instinct told me to move quickly, but the pilot surfaced the problems early and built the confidence we needed to go university-wide. Third, people take something on through real work, not a one-time training session. That's what the Train as we go model was built on. Helping people move from complexity to efficiency, from ambiguity to transparency, and from a difficult process to a better way of working. Because in the end, this was never about an app or a workflow. It was about the trust we built along the way with the faculties, the reviewers, and the people who use the system every day. It was about making sure that navigating a large, complex organization never stands between a donor's generosity and a student's opportunity. By making the process faster, clearer, and simpler, the TOR Builder for Student Awards helps donor-funded support reach students sooner when it can make a real difference in their lives. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my project story.